Put on the dress or I'll drag your corpse to the altar anyway. Alina's fingers trembled against the white silk hanging on her door. The man's voice on the phone was ice. 58 minutes, Miss Varelli. Clock's ticking. I don't even know you. But I know you, size 6. Coffee black, 2 sugars. You take the stairs because you're scared of elevators. And right now there's a hitman 4 floors below you climbing up. 57 minutes. The dress Alina. Put it on, marry me at St. Augustine's or he'll find you in pieces. The line died. Someone knocked on her door. Before we begin this nightmare, hit subscribe and stay until the end. You won't believe where this goes. Comment your city below so we know how far this story travels. Now let's dive in. The knocking got louder. Alina's heart stopped. She stared at her apartment door, chain lock, secured, deadbolt turned. She'd locked it herself 15 minutes ago. The peephole showed nothing but darkness. Someone was covering it. Delivery, a muffled voice called. Sign here, please. Every instinct screamed wrong. She'd been a 911 dispatcher for 3 years. She knew the sound of a lie. This was a lie. Her phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. That's not a delivery man. Alina's blood turned to ice water. She typed back with shaking fingers. Who are you? Your husband in 56 minutes. Back door, fire escape. Now they're coming through the front. She grabbed her emergency bag, cash ID, pepper spray, and ran. The bedroom window stuck. She yanked harder. It opened with a shriek of old metal. Cold air hit her face as she climbed onto the fire escape in nothing but jeans and a t-shirt, the wedding dress clutched under her arm. Below her, 5 floors down, a black Mercedes sat idling. Its headlights flashed twice. Behind her, wood splintered. Her front door was breaking. Alina didn't think. She climbed down the rusty ladder so fast her palms burned. 2nd floor, 1st floor. She dropped the last 6 feet, landing hard on concrete. Pain shot through her ankle, but she ran anyway, limping toward the Mercedes. The back door swung open before she reached it. Inside. Now. The driver was massive, 6'4", 250 neck, like a tree trunk. Marcus, I work for Mr. Draven. You're bleeding. Alina looked down. Her hands were scraped raw from the fire escape, blood dripping onto the white dress. My apartment. Compromised. They'll trash it looking for you. Won't find anything useful. Marcus pulled into traffic like he was driving to church, not fleeing a murder attempt. Mr. Draven says you did good. Most people freeze. You ran. Smart. Who was at my door? Alexei Volkov, freelance hitter, works for whoever pays. Viktor Kozlov paid. 50 grand for your head. Marcus's eyes met hers in the rearview mirror. Alexei's good. You'd have been dead in 30 seconds if you'd opened that door. Alina couldn't breathe. This is insane. I didn't do anything. I don't know these people. You knew Dmitri. The name hit like a slap. That was one date, one awkward dinner 3 weeks ago. He disappeared. I thought he ghosted me. He died. Tortured, first killed after. Viktor Kozlov's nephew. Viktor thinks you're the reason Dmitri ran away from the family business. Thinks Dmitri died chasing some fantasy life with you. Marcus turned down a side street, checking mirrors constantly. Viktor's old school Russian mob. He needs someone to blame. You're convenient. So your boss is what's saving me out of the goodness of his heart. Marcus actually laughed. Mr. Draven doesn't have a heart. He has a strategy. Your leverage. You marry him, you become untouchable. Viktor can't kill you without declaring war on the Draven family. It's chess, Miss Varelli. You're a piece on the board. And if I refuse, then Alexei comes back, or someone like him. 17 contracts on your head as of 6 hours ago. Professional killers, they don't miss twice. The car pulled up to St. Augustine's chapel. Gothic stone-stained glass, the kind of church where money and power got blessed by God. A priest waited at the entrance, looking everywhere but at them. Father Dominic's been on Mr. Draven's payroll for 20 years, Marcus said. He'll marry you. He won't ask questions. He won't remember your face tomorrow. I can't do this. You can, or you can die. Pick one. Alina sat frozen. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. Normal people didn't. Her phone rang. Same unknown number. She answered. What? Walk inside. The voice from before cold controlled absolute. I'm waiting. I want to see you first. I want to know who I'm. 49 minutes, Alina. We don't have time for meet cutes. Get inside. Say yes when Father Dominic asks. Sign the papers. And you walk out of here alive. It's simple. Nothing about this is simple. No, the man agreed. But it's your only option. Choose now. The line went dead. Marcus opened her door. Ma'am, Alina looked at the dress in her lap, white silk, custom tailored, expensive. A costume for her own funeral or wedding. Maybe both. She thought about her mother in Jersey, her sister in Chicago, her coworkers at Dispatch, who'd wonder why she never showed up for her next shift. She thought about dying on her apartment floor while Alexei Volkov cashed a $50,000 check. She got out of the car. The chapel was empty except for two people. Father Dominic at the altar, wringing his hands nervously, and a man standing in front of the first pew checking his watch, Cale Draven. He looked up. Their eyes met. Alina forgot how to breathe. He was younger than she'd expected. Early 30s, maybe? Tall, broad-shouldered, dark hair swept back from a face that could have sold cologne ads, sharp jawline, high cheekbones, gray eyes that cut through her like surgical steel. He wore a three-piece suit that probably cost more than her car, tailored, perfectly projecting power and wealth and danger. Miss Varelli, his voice was the same one from the phone call, control wrapped around something harder underneath. You're early. I appreciate punctuality. I appreciate not being murdered. Alina walked down the aisle, still wearing jeans and a t-shirt, clutching the wedding dress against her bleeding palms. Let's get this over with. Something flickered in Cale's eyes. Surprise, respect, no tears, no pleading. Would it change anything? No. Then why waste time? Alina stopped 3 feet away from him. Up close, he was terrifying, not because he looked violent, but because he looked calm. Perfectly, absolutely calm. Like forcing strangers into marriage was just another Tuesday. I assume you have a plan? Tell me what to do. Cale studied her for a long moment. Change into the dress. Father Dominic will give you 5 minutes. Then we proceed. And after you're my wife, you live in my home under my protection. You don't leave without security. You don't contact your old life without permission. You don't make decisions without consulting me first. In exchange, you stay alive. Clear. Crystal, Lena's voice was acid. I'm a prisoner with a ring. You're a survivor with a choice you've already made. Cale's expression didn't change. The bathroom is behind the altar. 4 minutes, Alina. Don't make me come get you. She walked away before she said something stupid, before she screamed, before she fell apart. The bathroom was small, old-fashioned, cold. Alina stripped off her bloody clothes with shaking hands and pulled on the wedding dress. It fit perfectly. Of course it did. Cale Draven didn't make mistakes. She looked like a ghost in the mirror. Pale, hollow-eyed, dressed for a wedding that felt like a funeral. Someone knocked. Time, Miss Varelli. Alina opened the door. Cale stood there holding a small velvet box. Your hands, he said quietly. She held them out. The scrapes from the fire escape had bled through, staining the dress cuffs pink. Cale opened the box. Inside was a first aid kit, antiseptic, gauze, medical tape. He cleaned her wounds without speaking, his touch surprisingly gentle, efficient, professional. You climbed down 5 floors, he said. Not a question, a statement. The alternative was Alexei. Smart choice. Cale wrapped her palms in thin gauze, barely visible under the dress sleeves. This will have to do. Ready? No. Good answer. He almost smiled. Honesty will make this easier. The ceremony lasted 8 minutes. Father Dominic rushed through Latin phrases like he was being timed. Maybe he was. Alina repeated words she didn't understand, made promises she didn't mean, and tried not to think about what she was doing. The rings, Father Dominic whispered, sweating. Cale produced 2 platinum bands, simple, elegant, expensive. He slid one onto Alina's finger, perfect fit naturally, and handed her the other. Her hands shook so badly she almost dropped it. Alina, Cale's voice cut through her panic. Look at me. She did. His gray eyes were empty of everything except cold calculation. This is a transaction, he said quietly, just for her. Business, strategy. You give me leverage, I give you safety. Nothing more. You don't have to feel anything. Just get through the next 5 minutes. She wanted to throw the ring at his face. She wanted to run. She wanted to wake up from this nightmare. Instead, she slid the ring onto his finger. It felt like signing her death certificate. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Father Dominic's hands trembled as he closed the prayer book. You may, no need, Cale said. We're done here. Papers, Father. They signed. Marcus appeared from somewhere to witness. 8 minutes after she'd entered the chapel as Alina Varelli, she walked out as Alina Draven. Where now? She asked. Home. My penthouse. Kyle guided her toward a different car, a Bentley this time flanked by 2 SUVs full of security. You'll have your own wing, privacy, staff, everything you need, except freedom. Freedom's overrated when you're dead. He opened the car door for one. Get in. The drive downtown was silent. Alina stared out the window, watching the city slide past. Familiar streets, her coffee shop, the grocery store, the park where she jogged on Sundays. All of it suddenly felt a million miles away. Tell me about Dmitri, Kyle said. Alina's head snapped around. What, Dmitri Kozlov? You dated him. I want to know everything. Why? Because Victor's grief is driving this war. Understanding Dmitri helps me understand Victor, helps me predict his next move. Cale's eyes never left his phone, scrolling through messages. So talk. What was he like? Alina swallowed hard. Intense, romantic in a creepy way. He worked at the coffee shop below my apartment, asked me out constantly 14 times. I finally said yes just to make him stop. And it was one dinner. He talked about fate and soulmates and destiny. Red flags everywhere. I was planning to ghost him, but he disappeared first. I never heard from him again. She looked at Kyle. I had no idea who he was, no idea about his family, his connections, anything. If I'd known, you couldn't have saved him. Kyle's voice was flat, matter of fact. Dmitri was running from his uncle from family obligations. He thought becoming invisible would keep him safe. It didn't. How do you know? Because I offered him protection 6 months ago. He refused. Something dark crossed Kyle's face. Said he'd rather die free than live in a cave, so he died. Victor blamed me anyway, said I should have protected him regardless. Now he's using your connection to Dmitri as an excuse to push into my territory. The pieces clicked together. So this isn't about me at all. It's about you and Victor fighting over turf. Everything's about turf. You're just the excuse. Kale finally looked at her. But here's the thing, Alina. Victor made you a target. I made you a weapon. The moment you became my wife, you stopped being his victim. Now you're my message to him. Touch what's mine, and I'll burn your empire to the ground. I'm not yours. Legally, you are. He held up his left hand, showing the ring. And in my world, legal means lethal. Anyone who touches you, dies. Anyone who threatens you, dies. Anyone who even looks at you wrong, you get the idea. The Bentley pulled into an underground garage. Private elevator. Armed guards at every checkpoint. They rode up in silence, 37 floors express. The penthouse doors opened onto luxury that felt obscene. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble floors, furniture that belonged in museums. A woman in her 50s waited in the foyer. Alina, this is Elena. She manages the household. Cale handed his jacket to someone. Elena, show Mrs. Draven to the West Wing. Get her settled. She'll need clothes, toiletries, everything. Of course, Mr. Draven, Elena smiled warmly. Too warmly, like this was normal. Welcome home, Mrs. Draven. Don't call me that, Elena said. Elena's smile didn't falter. Of course, what would you prefer? My name. Just my name. Follow me, Alina. The West Wing was bigger than Alina's entire apartment. Bedroom, bathroom with a tub that could fit 4 people, sitting room, walk-in closet, already full of clothes in her exact size. Everything was perfect. Everything was a cage. Mr. Draven thought you'd appreciate your own space, Elena said. He can be intense. This gives you room to breathe. This gives me room to feel like a prisoner in comfort. Elena's expression softened. I've worked for Mr. Draven for 12 years. I've seen him do terrible things, but I've also seen him keep every promise he's ever made. He said he'd protect you. He will, even if it kills him. Why are you telling me this? Because you look like you want to jump out that window, And I'm telling you, it's bulletproof glass. 37 floors up. There's no escape, Alina, so you might as well figure out how to survive. Elena left. Alina stood alone in her beautiful prison, still wearing the wedding dress, her bandaged palms aching. She lasted 10 minutes before she broke down. Silent sobs, shaking hands, the weight of the last 2 hours crushing her chest until she couldn't breathe. She'd married a mobster, a criminal, a man who spoke about murder like other people discussed the weather. She'd signed her name next to his and become part of something dark and violent and wrong. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, she'd do it again. Because living in a cage was still living. And dying on her apartment floor was still dying. A knock on the door. Alina wiped her eyes fast. What? Cale entered without waiting for permission. He'd changed jeans, black t-shirt, looking more human and somehow more dangerous. You need food. I need answers. You need food. Answers come later. He studied her face, red eyes, tear tracks she hadn't quite hidden. Something flickered in his expression. You're allowed to fall apart, Alina. Behind closed doors, you can be as scared as you want. But outside this room, you're my wife. You're strong, untouchable. That's the mask you wear. Understand? No. You will? He turned to leave, paused. Dinner's in 20 minutes. Dining room. Elena will show you. Try to eat something. Tomorrow gets harder. Harder than forced marriage and attempted murder. Cale looked back at her. Victor hasn't made his real move yet. This was just the opening. Trust me, it gets worse before it gets better. He left. Alina changed into jeans and a sweater from the closet cashmere designer label, perfect fit. She felt like she was wearing someone else's skin. Maybe she was. Maybe Alina Varelli had died on that fire escape, and whoever was standing here now was someone new, someone harder. Alina Draven, wife of a mob boss, target of the Russian Mafia, prisoner in a gilded cage. She looked at herself in the mirror. You're going to survive this, she whispered. You're going to survive him. You're going to figure out how to stay alive, and then you're going to figure out how to be free. The reflection didn't look convinced. Dinner was tense. Cale sat at one end of a table that could seat 20. Alina sat at the other end, a mile of polished wood between them. Elena served food that looked like art salmon asparagus risotto. Alina pushed it around her plate. You're not eating, Cale observed. I'm not hungry. You're in shock. Eat anyway. Stop giving me orders. I'll stop when you stop making stupid choices. He cut his salmon with surgical precision. You need energy. Tomorrow we go public photos appearances showing Victor that you're mine now. The more visible you are, the safer you are. Paradox of protection. Or I'm just a bigger target. Only if my security fails, it won't. Absolute confidence. No room for doubt. Alina took a bite. It tasted like nothing. Tell me about Victor. If I'm in this war, I should know the enemy. Cale nodded slowly. Victor Kozlov, 62, old school Bratva. Came up during the Soviet collapse, built an empire on extortion and fear. He's brutal, but he's not stupid. He understands power structures, respects hierarchy. Dmitry was his only nephew, his only family. Victor's wife died years ago, no children. Dmitry was supposed to be his legacy. And now Dmitry's dead. And now Victor needs someone to blame. Me because I didn't force protection on Dmitry. You because Dmitry died chasing a fantasy life with you. Victor's operating on grief and rage, which makes him unpredictable, dangerous. How do we stop him? We don't stop him. We make him back down. Show him the cost of war is higher than the cost of peace. He pushes, we push back harder. He sends killers, we eliminate them. He threatens, we escalate. Eventually he decides revenge isn't worth his empire. And if he doesn't, Cale's eyes met hers across the table. Cold. Empty. Then I kill him. And everyone loyal to him. And I burn his territory to the ground until there's nothing left. That's how this works, Alina. Total war or total peace. No middle ground. She believed him. That was the terrifying part. She believed every word. After dinner, Alina went back to her room. She tried to sleep. Failed. Lay in the dark listening to the city far below and wondered if she'd ever feel safe again. At 2:47 a.m., she got her answer. Gunshots. Alina shot upright, hard hammering. More shots, shouting. Footsteps running past her door. Someone was attacking the penthouse. Her door burst open. Security guard bleeding from the shoulder, wild-eyed. Mrs. Draven with me. Safe room. Now. What's happening? Victor. He's here. Move. Alina ran barefoot, following the guard through hallways she didn't know. Behind them, the sounds of fighting grew louder. Gunfire breaking glass, men screaming. The guard shoved her through a steel door. Stay here. Don't open for anyone except Mr. Draven. Got it. Wait. He slammed the door. Locks engaged with heavy clicks. Alina was alone in a concrete box, soundproofed, windowless. A cage within a cage. She couldn't hear the fight anymore. Didn't know if KL was alive or dead. Didn't know if she'd be next. Time stopped meaning anything. 5 minutes or 50, she couldn't tell. She sat on the floor, back against cold concrete, and waited to find out if her husband of 14 hours would die protecting her. Finally, after an eternity, the locks clicked. The door opened. KL stood there. Jacket gone, shirt torn, blood on his face, his hands, his clothes. Breathing hard, but alive. It's over, he said. What happened? Victor sent a kill squad. 12 men, professional. They breached the elevator, and the garage simultaneously took out 3 of my guards before we contained them. KL wiped blood from his cheek. Not his blood, Alina realized. All dead now. We're secure. All dead, Alina repeated numbly. All dead, KL confirmed. No emotion, just fact. This was Victor's first real move, testing our defenses, seeing if he could get to you. He failed. He'll try again. Went days, maybe hours, depends how crazy his grief has made him. KL offered his hand. Come on, you can't stay in here. Alina took it. His grip was solid, steady, still warm despite everything. He led her back through the penthouse. She saw bodies being carried out, blood on the marble floors, guards with weapons checking every corner. Her new normal. I want to learn to shoot, Alina said suddenly. KL stopped. Why? Because I'm not going to hide in a concrete box every time someone tries to kill me. I'm not going to be helpless. She met his eyes. You said I'm your weapon against Victor. Fine. Make me an actual weapon. Teach me to protect myself. For the first time since she'd met him, KL Draven looked impressed. All right, tomorrow we start training. Welcome to the family business, Mrs. Draven. Don't call me that. It's your name now. Better get used to it. He walked her back to her room, checked every corner personally. Get some rest. Real training starts at 6 a.m. Don't be late. He left. Alina locked the door behind him even though she knew it wouldn't matter. If someone wanted her dead, a lock wouldn't stop them. She didn't sleep, just lay in the dark feeling the ring on her finger, heavy, foreign, permanent. Somewhere in the city, Victor Kozlov was planning his next attack. Somewhere in this penthouse, KL Draven was coordinating his defense. And somewhere between them, Alina was trapped. But not helpless. Not anymore. If she was going to survive this, she needed to stop being a victim. She needed to stop waiting for rescue. She needed to become someone Victor Kozlov feared. She needed to become KL Draven's wife in more than just name. The thought should have terrified her. Instead, it felt like the first choice she'd made since this nightmare began. Dawn broke over the city. Alina watched it through bulletproof glass, wearing borrowed clothes and a borrowed life, married to a stranger who'd saved her by making her his. At 5:55 a.m., she got dressed in workout clothes from her closet. At 6 a.m. exactly, she walked into the penthouse gym where KO was waiting. Ready, he asked. No, Alina said, but I'm here anyway. KO almost smiled. Good enough. Let's begin. And with those words, Alina's real education started. Not in how to survive, in how to fight back. The gun felt wrong in Alina's hand. Too heavy, too real, too much like admitting she'd crossed a line she could never uncross. Stop thinking, Kale said from behind her. Just breathe. Aim. Squeeze. She pulled the trigger. The recoil jarred at her shoulder, sent pain shooting down her arm. The target 30 feet away remained untouched. Again. I missed by a mile. Again, Alina fired. Missed. Fired again. The bullet grazed the edge of the target. Progress, maybe. Or just luck. You're anticipating the recoil, Kale said, stepping closer. His hand touched her elbow, adjusting her stance. Don't fight the gun. Let it be an extension of your arm. Try again. This time the bullet hit center mass. Not perfect, but close enough to matter. Good. Kale moved back. 20 more. Don't stop until the magazine's empty. By round 40, Alina's hands were shaking from exertion. By round 60, 3 of her shots had clustered near the center. By round 100, KL finally called a break. You're a natural, he said, reloading her weapon. Most people can't hit anything their first day. Most people aren't fighting for their lives. No, they're not. He handed the gun back. Again, another 100. They trained for 3 hours. By the end, Alina's arms felt like dead weight. Her ears rang despite the protection, and she'd hit the target more times than she'd missed. Small victories. Tomorrow we do hand-to-hand, Kale said as they walked back to the penthouse. The day after tactical awareness. By the end of the week, you'll be able to defend yourself long enough for security to reach you. And if security doesn't reach me, Kale stopped, looked at her. Then you kill whoever's trying to kill you. Simple as that. Nothing about this was simple, but Alina didn't argue. Alina had breakfast waiting, protein carbs food designed to fuel recovery. Alina ate mechanically, her mind still at the range, still feeling the gun's weight, still seeing the target with its clustered holes. Mrs. Draven, Alina's voice pulled her back. You have a visitor. Alina looked up. What? Who? Your mother. The world tilted. My mother's here? How does she even? She's been calling the house line since 6 a.m. Mr. Draven authorized a supervised visit. Alina's expression was sympathetic. He's with her now in the sitting room. She's upset. Alina ran, down hallways past security into the sitting room, where her mother sat on a cream-colored sofa looking small and lost and terrified. Mom. Linda Varelli stood up fast. Alina, thank God. These people said you got married, said you're living here now, said. She stopped taking in Alina's appearance, workout clothes, exhausted face, bandaged hands. What happened to you? It's complicated. That's not an answer, Linda's voice shook. You don't return my calls for 3 days, then I find out from some stranger that you got married to him. She pointed at Kale, who stood by the window like a silent sentinel. Alina, what's going on? Mrs. Varelli, Kale said smoothly, perhaps Alina and I should explain together. You don't get to explain anything, Linda snapped. You're twice her age. I'm 32. You're a criminal. I know who you are. I looked you up. Kale Draven suspected in 14 murders, known connections to organized crime laundering charges that never stuck. All true, Kale said calmly, except I'm suspected in 23 murders, not 14. The media doesn't have the full count. Linda went pale. You're admitting, Mom, stop. Alina stepped between them. Just stop. Listen to me, please. Linda's eyes filled with tears. Baby, what did he do to you? He saved my life. That's not. There was a contract on me, 17 professional killers. One of them broke into my apartment. I had to climb down the fire escape to escape. Kale offered me protection in exchange for marriage. It was that or die, Mom. Those were my options. Linda sank back onto the sofa. This can't be real. It's real. Alina sat beside her, took her hands. I'm sorry I didn't call. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. But I'm alive. I'm safe. That's what matters. Safe you married a mobster. I married the only person who could keep me alive. Alina looked at Kyle. He met her gaze without expression. And he kept his promise. I'm still here. Linda was quiet for a long time. When she spoke again, her voice was barely a whisper. What about your life, your job, your apartment? All gone. I can't go back to any of it. The words hurt more than Alina expected. This is my life now. For how long? Nobody answered, because nobody knew. This could last weeks or years or forever, depending on Victor's next move. I should go, Linda said finally. She stood shaky. I can't. I need time to process this. Mom. Don't. Linda held up a hand. Just don't. I love you, but I can't support this. I can't pretend this is okay. She left. Alina watched her go, feeling something break inside her chest. She'll come around, Kale said. Don't. Alina's voice was sharp. Don't pretend you understand. Don't pretend this is normal. You took my whole life away. Victor took your life away. I just gave you a different one. Same result. She walked out before he could respond. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Lunch she didn't eat. Afternoon training session with one of Kyle's security team, a woman named Sophia, who taught her how to break a chokehold, how to use everyday objects as weapons, how to run in heels without falling. Useful skills for a mob wife. Dinner was silent. Kale ate at his end of the table, Alina at hers. Neither spoke. The distance between them felt like miles. At 9 p.m., Alina's phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Your mother left crying. Does that make you happy? Her blood ran cold. She showed Kyle the message. His expression darkened immediately. Victor, he said, he's watching. He saw your mother's visit, probably has photos. He stood. Don't respond. Don't engage. Another text. She looks scared. Thinks she knows her daughter married a monster. Alina's hands shook. He's taunting me. He's testing you, trying to get a reaction. Kyle took her phone. I'll trace this. In the meantime, a third text, this time a photo. Linda Varelli walking to her car, crosshairs superimposed over her head. No, Alina grabbed the phone back. No, he can't. Mom's not part of this. Everyone's part of this now. Kale was already on his own phone barking orders. Get a team to Jersey. Linda Varelli, full protection detail, now. Will she accept protection from you? She doesn't get a choice. Victor just made her a target. He looked at Alina. I'm sorry, I thought he'd focus on you. I was wrong. The apology felt empty. Everything felt empty. Alina sat down hard, still staring at the photo with its implied threat. Her mother, her innocent, uninvolved mother, now in danger because of her. This is my fault, she whispered. This is Victor's fault. Don't confuse the two. Kale's phone rang. He answered, listened, cursed. Say that again. You're certain? Fuck. Increase security at all family locations. Double shifts. Nobody leaves coverage. He hung up. Victor's escalating. My sources say he's meeting with other families trying to build a coalition against me. Because of me. Because of his grief. You're just the excuse. Kyle sat across from her, breaking protocol, closing the distance. Listen to me, Alina. This war started before you. It'll end after you. You're not the cause. You're the catalyst. There's a difference. Tell that to my mother when she gets killed. She won't. I have 12 men on her right now. Best in the business. She's safer than the president. You can't guarantee that. No, Kale admitted, but I can make the cost of touching her so high that Victor won't risk it. That's how this works. Mutual assured destruction. He touches your mother, I erase his entire bloodline. He knows that. Everyone knows that. Alina wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him. But belief felt like a luxury she couldn't afford. Her phone buzzed again. Different number. Meet me, alone, or your mother dies tonight. Kale saw it before she could hide it. His face went hard. No, absolutely not. He has my mother. He has nothing. This is a trap. Classic strategy. Make you emotional, make you stupid, make you vulnerable. Kale stood. You're not going anywhere. You can't stop me. I can, I will. You walk out that door, you die. That's simple. Then my mother dies. Your mother is protected. Kale's voice rose for the first time. I have 12 trained killers keeping her safe. Victor's bluffing. You don't know that. I do know that. This is what I do, Alina. This is my world. I read men like Victor. The way you read emergency calls, patterns, behaviors, tells. He's not going to kill your mother. He's going to use her as bait to draw you out and kill you instead. The logic was sound. The logic made sense. But logic didn't matter when the photo on her phone showed crosshairs on her mother's head. What if you're wrong? Alina asked quietly. Kale's expression softened slightly. Then I live with it, and so do you. But I'm not wrong. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered on speaker. Mrs. Draven? Victor Kozlov's voice was old, rough, accented. Finally, I was beginning to think you didn't care about family. Where's my mother? Safe for now. Depends on your next decision. What do you want? Simple. You leave Draven. Come to me. I promise you a clean death. Quick. Painless. Your mother lives. Everyone wins. Except Alina, who dies, Kale said coldly. Ah, the husband. Listening in. How romantic. Victor laughed. Tell me, Draven, how does it feel using an innocent girl as a meat shield? Does it help you sleep at night? Better than you'll sleep after I'm done with you. Big words, but you're spread thin now, protecting the girl, protecting her family, watching your own territory. How many men can you afford to lose before your empire crumbles? More than you can afford to kill. We'll see, Victor's voice sharpened. The girl comes to me by midnight, or I start sending pieces of her mother back in boxes. Your choice, Mrs. Draven. Save yourself or save her. The line went dead. Alina stared at the phone. Midnight, 3 hours. He's bluffing, Kale said again. And if he's not, then we adapt. But you're not walking into his trap. You can't make that decision for me. I can. I did. The moment you signed those papers, you became mine to protect. That includes protecting you from yourself. Kale's eyes were steel. You're not leaving this penthouse. End of discussion. I hate you. You can hate me alive. I can live with that. He left. Alina heard locks engage on her door from the outside. He'd actually locked her in. Prisoner confirmed. She tried the door anyway. Solid, immovable. She was trapped. 2 hours until midnight, Alina paced her room phone in hand, staring at Victor's messages. Her mother's photo, the crosshairs, the implied threat. What if Kyle was wrong? What if Victor wasn't bluffing? What if her mother died because she'd chosen to trust a mobster's judgment? At 11 p.m., someone knocked. Alina. It's Elena. May I come in? The door opened. Elena had a key, apparently. She carried a tray with tea and something that looked like cookies. Mr. Draven thought you might need company, she said gently. Mr. Draven locked me in my room like a child. He locked you in because you're emotionally compromised and about to make a fatal mistake. Elena set the tray down. I heard the phone call. I know what Victor offered. I also know it's a trap. How can you be sure? Because I've seen this play before. Different girl, different threat, same strategy. 10 years ago, Victor used the exact same tactic against another family. Girl went to meet him, thinking she'd save her brother. Victor killed them both, sent the bodies back as a message. Elena poured tea with steady hands. Mr. Draven knows this. He's trying to keep you alive. By controlling me. By protecting you from your own fear. Elena met her eyes. Your mother is safe, Elena. I've been getting updates every 15 minutes. She's in a secure location with armed guards. Victor doesn't have her. He has surveillance photos. That's all. How do I know you're telling the truth? Elena pulled out her phone, showed Alina a live feed. Linda Varelli sitting in what looked like a hotel room, surrounded by serious men in suits. Alive. Safe. Unharmed. Alina's legs gave out. She sat on the bed, relief washing over her so hard she couldn't breathe. Kale should have shown me this, she managed. He wanted you to trust him without proof. Trust is important in his world. Elena sat beside her. But I disagree. You're not one of his soldiers. You deserve to see the truth. Midnight came and went. No phone call, no threats, no body parts in boxes. At 12:15, Kyle unlocked her door. Victor never had her, just like I said. Elena showed me the feed. Something flickered in his expression, annoyance, respect. Did she? I needed to see it. I needed to know. You needed to trust me. I don't know you well enough to trust you. Alina stood. You want trust, earn it. Stop locking me in rooms. Stop making decisions for me. Stop treating me like a possession. Kale studied her for a long moment. Fair enough, but here's the deal. You want autonomy. You prove you can handle it. No more emotional decisions. No more panic responses. You think like a survivor, not a victim. Can you do that? I've been surviving just fine before you showed up. No, you've been existing. There's a difference. Surviving means anticipating threats, calculating risks, making hard choices. Can you do that? Alina thought about the gun range, the training, the way her body had started to move instinctively, adapting to danger. Yes. Then prove it. Tomorrow we have a public appearance charity gala, every major family in attendance. Victor will be there. You'll meet him face to face. You'll smile, you'll act like the perfect wife, and you'll show him you're not afraid. Can you handle that? Every instinct screamed no. But Alina had stopped listening to instinct. Instinct got people killed. Yes, she said, I can handle it. Kale nodded slowly. Good, get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be brutal. He left. This time he didn't lock the door. Alina should have slept. Instead, she researched. Viktor Kozlov, Russian mob history, territory wars. Dmitri's death ruled a suicide, but everyone knew better. The more she read, the more she understood the game she'd been forced into. This wasn't personal. This was business dressed up as revenge. At 3 a.m., she finally crashed. At 6 a.m., Elena woke her. "Hey, dress fitting," Elena said cheerfully. "Mr. Draven's stylist is here. You'll need something appropriate for tonight." The stylist was a tiny woman named Margaret who looked at Elena like she was a mannequin. Good bone structure. Could use some sleep. Let's see what we're working with." 2 hours later, Elena stood in front of a mirror wearing a dress that cost more than her first car. Deep green fitted elegant. Diamond earrings. Heels that added 3 inches. Hair and makeup done professionally. She looked like someone else. Someone powerful. Someone dangerous. Someone who belonged next to Kyle Draven. "Perfect," Margaret declared. "Mr. Draven will be pleased." Alina didn't care about pleasing Kyle, but she cared about surviving the night. The gala was downtown old hotel ballroom. Crystal chandeliers, people who wore wealth like armor. Kyle met her at the penthouse entrance wearing a tuxedo that made him look even more intimidating. "You look beautiful," he said. "I look expensive. There's a difference. In this world, they're the same thing." He offered his arm. "Ready?" "No, but let's go anyway." The drive was short. Security detail followed 3 cars, armed guards the full show. They pulled up to the hotel entrance where photographers waited. Kale got out first, then turned to help Alina. Flashbulbs exploded. Questions shouted. Kale ignored all of it, keeping his hand on Alina's back, guiding her inside. The ballroom was packed. Hundreds of people, all dressed to kill, some literally. Alina recognized faces from her research. Crime families, politicians, business tycoons, the powerful and the corrupt mingling like old friends. "Stay close," Kale murmured. "Don't drink anything I don't give you. Don't eat anything that's been out of sight. Don't go anywhere without me or Sophia." "You make this sound like a war zone." "It is, just with better clothes." They worked the room. Kale introduced her to dozens of people whose names blurred together. Everyone smiled, everyone lied, everyone assessed her like she was a weapon they wanted to steal. And then she saw him. Viktor Kozlov stood near the bar, surrounded by men in expensive suits. He was shorter than she'd expected, older gray-haired. He looked like someone's grandfather. Until you saw his eyes, cold, dead, calculating. He was watching her. "He's here," Alina whispered. "I know. Stay calm. Let him come to us." Victor did. He walked across the ballroom like he owned it, his entourage following. He stopped 3 feet away, studying Alina with clinical interest. "So, the famous Mrs. Draven." His accent was thick, his English precise. "The girl who stole my nephew's heart. The girl who got him killed." "I didn't kill Dmitri," Alina said. Her voice didn't shake. Small victory. "No, but he died chasing you, died believing you were his salvation. And now here you are, married to his enemy. How poetic." "How delusional," Kale said coldly. "Dmitri died because he refused protection. That's on him, not her. Dmitri died because you didn't force him to accept. You let him make a choice. Children need guidance, Draven. They need strong hands. Dmitri was 26, not a child. He was my blood, my responsibility. And now he's gone." Victor's eyes never left Alina. "And you think marrying this girl protects her? Think I won't touch her because she's yours now? You're wrong. Touch her and I'll kill everyone you've ever cared about," KL said pleasantly, "starting with your sister in Moscow, then your cousins in Brighton Beach, then every soldier who's ever cashed your checks. I'll erase your bloodline, Victor. Don't test me." The room had gone quiet. Everyone was watching now. Victor smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. "Big threats, but threats are just words. Actions matter. And my actions are coming. Soon." He walked away. His entourage followed. The room slowly returned to normal conversations, resuming like nothing had happened. Alina realized she was shaking. "You did well," Kale said quietly. "You didn't break. That matters." "He's going to kill me." "He's going to try. There's a difference." Kale guided her toward the exit. We're done here. Time to go. They didn't make it to the door. The lights went out. Screaming, gunfire, chaos. Kael grabbed Alina, pulled her down as bullets tore through the ballroom. Glass shattered. People ran. More shots. Stay down, Kael ordered. He had a gun in his hand now. Where had he been hiding that? Sophia, get her out. Sophia appeared from nowhere, hauling Alina toward a side exit. Behind them, Kael returned fire, his movements precise and controlled. They burst into a hallway. Emergency lights flickered. Sophia pushed Alina forward. Run. Don't stop. Security's meeting us at the garage. They ran. Alina's heels made it impossible. She kicked them off, kept going. Behind them, more gunfire. Someone was following. Sophia turned, fired twice. Someone fell. They reached the garage. Marcus had the Bentley running back door open. In. Now Alina dove in. Sophia followed. The car peeled out before the door fully closed. Where's Kyle? Alina gasped. Coming, Marcus said, but his voice was tight. They drove in silence for 5 minutes. 10, 15. No Kyle. Alina's phone rang. Unknown number, she answered. Your husband is bleeding on a hotel floor, Victor said. And you're next. The line died. Turn around, Alina said. We have to go back. We don't, Marcus said firmly. Mr. Draven's orders. If things go wrong, get you to safety. That's the priority. He could be dying. Then he dies doing his job. Marcus's voice was hard, but he's not. Mr. Draven doesn't die easy. He'll meet us at the secondary location. They drove for another 20 minutes. Finally pulled into an underground parking structure Alina didn't recognize. Sophia got wood, first cleared the area, then helped Alina out. Where are we, Sam? Safe house, one of 12 Mr. Draven maintains. Victor doesn't know about this one. They took an elevator up, a penthouse smaller than Kael's main residence, but still luxurious. Sophia checked every room while Alina stood frozen still, wearing the torn dress still covered in someone else's blood. 30 minutes passed. No Kael. An hour. No call. 2 hours. Alina started to panic. He's fine, Sophia said, but her eyes betrayed her worry. At hour 3, the elevator opened. Kael walked in, blood-soaked jacket, torn shirt, a gash across his temple, but alive, walking, conscious. Took you long enough, Sophia said. Kael almost smiled. Then he looked at Alina. You okay? She nodded, not trusting her voice. Good, because we've got problems. Victor hit 3 of my locations tonight. Killed 8 of my people. This is officially war. And just like that, Alina's new life got even more dangerous. 8 people dead. Alina kept hearing that number in her head like a drum beat. 8 people with families, with lives, with futures gone because Victor wanted revenge on a girl who'd gone on one awkward date with his nephew. This isn't sustainable, Kael said, pacing the safe house living room. Blood still stained his shirt. He hadn't bothered changing. He hit the warehouse, the club on 5th, and the shipping depot. Coordinated strikes, professional execution. He's got backing. What kind of backing? Sophia asked from her position by the window watching the street below. The kind that costs millions. The kind that takes months to organize. Kael stopped pacing, his jaw tight. Someone's funding this war. Someone big. Who? That's what we need to find out. He finally looked at Alina. You should sit down. You look like you're about to pass out. She was still standing in the middle of the room, frozen. 8 people. I know. They died because of me. They died because of Victor's grief and whoever's bankrolling his vendetta. Don't take credit for his choices. Kael's voice was sharp. Guilt's a luxury. We don't have time for it. Don't have time for... Alina's voice broke. They're dead. And we'll be dead too if you fall apart right now. Kael crossed the room in 3 strides, grabbed her shoulders. Not rough, but firm. Listen to me. This is war. People die in war. That's the reality. You can hate it, you can rage against it, but you can't change it. So you have 2 choices, break down and become a liability, or hold it together and help me end this. Choose. Alina wanted to scream at him, wanted to hit him, wanted to run until her legs gave out. Instead, she took a breath, then another. What do you need me to do? Something like approval crossed his face. Right now, nothing. Stay alive. That's enough. His phone rang. He answered, listened, his expression darkening with each second. How many? Fuck, lock it down. Nobody in or out. I'll be there in 20. He hung up. Victor just hit the main house. Elena's dead. The words didn't make sense at first. Elena, kind Elena who'd brought her tea and shown her the security feed and treated her like a person instead of a prisoner. No, Elena whispered. 3 others dead, 5 wounded. He used a bomb, planted it in a delivery truck, drove it right through the front gates. Kale's voice was flat, emotionless, but his hands were shaking. I need to get back there. Sophia, you stay with Elena. Double the guard detail. Nobody gets close. You can't go back, Sophia said. It's a trap. He wants you emotional, wants you making mistakes. I don't care what he wants. My people are dead. I need to... Kale stopped, closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the emotion was gone. Locked away. You're right, it's a trap, but I'm going anyway. Have Marcus bring the car around. Heavy armor, full escort. Kale, Elena started. Stay here, don't argue, just stay alive. He was already moving toward the door. Wait, Elena grabbed his arm. Elena showed me the security feed yesterday. She went against your orders because she knew I needed to see it. She trusted me. And now she's dead because Victor's a monster who kills innocent people to make a point. Kale's eyes met hers. She knew the risks. Everyone who works for me knows the risks. It doesn't make it easier, but it makes it her choice. Respect that choice. He left. Sophia immediately started making calls, coordinating security, turning the safe house into a fortress. Elena sat on the couch, numb, while chaos swirled around her. Elena was dead. The woman who had been kind when kindness wasn't required. Gone. Erased. Because Elena had married Kyle Draven. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. 4 down. How many more before you give yourself up? Then a photo. Elena's body in the rubble. Elena's stomach turned. She barely made it to the bathroom before she was sick. Sophia found her there 10 minutes later. You okay? No. Good, means you're human. Sophia handed her a water bottle. Drink, then we need to talk. They sat on the bathroom floor like teenagers at a sleepover. Except instead of gossip, they were surrounded by death threats. How do you do this? Elena asked. How do you live with people dying? You don't. You just keep moving forward because stopping means you die too. Sophia's voice was matter-of-fact. I've been with Mr. Draven for 6 years. I've seen 73 people die. Some were enemies, some were friends, some were innocents caught in crossfire. You learn to compartmentalize or you go insane. I think I'm going insane. You're not. Insane people don't question their sanity. Sophia stood, offered her hand. Come on, Kale's going to be gone for hours. Let's put that time to use. Doing what? Training. You wanted to learn to fight. Now's the time. They spent 3 hours in the safe house gym. Sophia taught her pressure points, nerve strikes, how to use momentum against a bigger opponent. By the end, Lena's body ached everywhere, but her mind felt clearer. Action helped. Movement helped. Sitting still just let the horror sink in deeper. At hour 4, KO returned. More blood on him, exhaustion in his eyes. He looked 10 years older than when he'd left. Report, he said to Sophia. Building secure, no incidents. Elena held up. Good. He looked at Elena. We need to talk. Privately. Sophia left. Elena stayed on the gym mat, too tired to stand. Kyle sat beside her. For a moment, neither spoke. I found something at the house, he finally said. In Elena's effects, a letter, addressed to you. He handed her an envelope. Elena's hand shook as she opened it. The letter was short, Elena's handwriting neat and precise. Elena, if you're reading this, I'm probably dead. Don't blame yourself. I chose this life long before you arrived. I chose to serve Mr. Draven because he's one of the few men in this world who keeps his promises. He promised to protect you. He will. Even if it costs him everything. Trust him, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You're stronger than you know. Prove it. Elena read it 3 times. Each time hurt more. She knew, Elena whispered. She knew this might happen. Everyone knows. Everyone stays anyway. Kyle took the letter back, folded it carefully. She liked you. That's rare. Lena didn't like most people. I barely knew her. You knew her well enough. She saw something in you worth protecting. He stood, offered his hand. Come on. You need food, shower, sleep, in that order. Alina let him pull her up. What about you? I need to plan Victor's funeral. You're going to kill him. I'm going to erase him. Him and everyone who helped him. This ends now. The certainty in his voice should have frightened her. Instead, it felt like relief. Dinner with sandwiches and coffee. Neither of them ate much. Kale spent most of the time on his phone coordinating something big. Alina didn't ask, didn't want to know. At midnight, Marcus arrived with news. We found Victor's financial backer. You're not going to like it. Tell me. Dominic Castellano. Kale went very still. You're certain? Wire transfers, offshore accounts. 3 million funneled to Victor over the last 2 months. Castellano's funding the whole operation. Why? Alina asked. Who's Dominic Castellano? My former partner, Kale said quietly. We ran the East Side together for 5 years. Split amicably 2 years ago or so, I thought. If he's backing Victor, it means he's been planning this for months, maybe longer. What does he get out of it? My territory, my connections, my empire. Kale's laugh was bitter. Classic betrayal. Use Victor's grief as the weapon, let him do the dirty work, then step in after we've destroyed each other. Smart, efficient, exactly how I do it. So what's our move? Marcus asked. We turn the tables. Victor thinks he's using Castellano's money to destroy me. We make him realize Castellano's using him as a disposable tool, drive a wedge between them, force them to turn on each other. How? Kale smiled. It wasn't unpleasant. We give Victor what he wants, or make him think we are. He looked at Alina. She didn't like where this was going. No, she said immediately. Whatever you're thinking, we leak intel that you're meeting with Castellano, that you're negotiating to switch sides, offering information on my operations in exchange for protection from Victor. Kale spoke faster now, the plan forming as he explained. Victor finds out, thinks you're betraying me. He makes his move to stop you. We're ready for him. End it there. You want to use me as bait. I want to use you as the final piece, the move Victor can't resist. Kale moved closer. It's dangerous, but it works. Or it gets me killed. Not if I'm there. Not if we control every variable. You can't control everything. No, but I can control enough. His eyes held hers. I know what I'm asking. I know it's too much, but this is the only way to end this without more people dying. Elena, those 8 soldiers, your mother if Victor gets desperate enough. We end it now or it never ends. Alina thought about Elena's letter. You're stronger than you know. Prove it. When? She asked. Tomorrow night. Castellano's hosting a party at his estate. Private, exclusive, perfect cover. You show up, make contact, let Victor's spies see you. We do this right, Victor moves that same night. And if something goes wrong, then I die keeping you alive. That's the deal. That's always been the deal. The casualness with which he accepted his possible death was terrifying. I need to think, Alina said. You have until morning. Choose. Kale walked out. Alina didn't sleep. She paced her room thinking about Elena, about Dmitri, about Victor's dead nephew who'd started this whole nightmare. She thought about her mother in a safe house somewhere surrounded by strangers with guns. She thought about 8 dead soldiers who'd been doing their job. She thought about Kale's promise. I die keeping you alive. At dawn, she found him in the kitchen, drinking coffee and reviewing blueprints of Castellano's estate. I'll do it, she said. He looked up. You're sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. That's good enough. He went back to the blueprints. We have 12 hours to prepare. Sophia will brief you on what to say, how to act. I'll handle the tactical side. Stick to the plan, follow instructions, and we walk out of this alive. You really believe that? I have to. Belief's the only thing that keeps you moving forward when logic says you're already dead. The next 12 hours were brutal. Sophia drilled her on Castellano's background, his business, his preferences. What to say, how to say it, when to make contact, when to withdraw. Marcus taught her hand signals for the security team. Kale showed her the estate layout, escape routes, where his people would be positioned. By evening, Alina felt like she'd crammed for a final exam where failure meant death. The dress they'd chosen was red, bold, attention-grabbing, exactly the point. Alina looked in the mirror and barely recognized herself. She changed so much in just a week. From dispatcher to mob wife to bait in a trap that might kill them all. Ready? Kale appeared behind her wearing a tuxedo. They looked like they were going to a wedding. Or a funeral. As I'll ever be. The drive to Castellano's estate took 40 minutes. 3-car convoy armed escort, the full security detail. Alina's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Breathe, Kale said. You've got this. How do you know? Because you're still here. That takes strength most people don't have. The estate was massive. Gates, guards, valet parking. They got out together, Kale's hand on her back, projecting unity. Inside, hundreds of people, the criminal elite dressed to impress, drinking expensive alcohol and pretending they weren't all killers. Castellano found them within minutes. He was older than Kyle, maybe 50, with silver hair and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Kale, and this must be the famous Mrs. Draven. He took Alina's hand, kissed it. Charming. Though I hear you've been causing quite a stir. Not intentionally, Alina said. The best Kaywas never is. Castellano's eyes held calculation. I heard about Elena. Tragic. Victor's getting reckless. Victor's getting dead, Kale said flatly. It's just a matter of timing. Is it I hear he's got significant backing, resources, manpower. Resources run out, manpower dies. Willpower is all that matters in the end. Spoken like a man who's never lost. Castellano's smile widened. We should catch up properly. Drinks old times. Your wife can entertain herself for a bit, yes? This was the moment. The split. Alina nodded. I'll be fine. Kale hesitated, then followed Castellano toward a private room. Sophia materialized at Alina's elbow. Showtime, Sophia murmured. Balcony, third door on the left. Make it look natural. Alina worked her way through the crowd. Small talk, fake smiles, pretending she belonged here. She reached the balcony, stepped outside. The night air was cold. She wasn't alone. A man stood in the shadows. Tall, thin, watching her with predatory interest. Mrs. Draven, he said in accented English. Russian. Finally. We've been hoping you'd break away from your keeper. Who are you? Alexei. We almost met at your apartment, before you ran like a smart girl. He stepped into the light, sharp features, cold eyes, the hitman from that first night. Victor wants to talk. I have nothing to say to Victor, but you have things to say to Castellano. We know about your meeting. We know you're negotiating. Smart. Draven's a dead man. Better to jump ship now. This was it, the moment the trap sprung. Alina played her part. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play stupid. We have photos, recordings. You've been planning this for days. Alexei moved closer. Here's what happens next. You come with me. Now, meet Victor. Tell him everything you know about Draven's operations. In exchange, he lets you live, maybe even pays you. Everyone wins. Except Kale. Kale's already lost. He just doesn't know it yet. Alexei grabbed her arm. Let's go. I don't think so. Sophia's voice cut through the night. She appeared with 3 other security personnel, all armed. Alexei's hand went to his jacket. Sophia's gun was faster. Don't. You're making a mistake, Alexei said. Victor has 50 men surrounding this estate. You walk out of here, you all die. Then we'll die on our terms. Sophia's voice was ice. Alina inside. Now. They moved fast back through the party, heading for the front entrance. Alina saw Kyle emerge from the private room, saw his expression shift from confusion to understanding. It's happening, Sophia said into her comm. Victor's here. Multiple hostiles. Evacuate the package. They never made it to the door. The lights went out. Gunfire erupted. Screaming. Chaos again. Kale was there, suddenly grabbing Alina. Stay low. Move. They ran through the dark security team, forming a protective circle. Behind them, more gunfire. In front of them, the entrance was blocked. Victor's men, weapons drawn. Back away, Marcus shouted. Kitchen. They pivoted, running through service corridors. Staff scattered. More of Victor's men appeared. Sophia dropped 2 with precise shots. Marcus took out 3 more. They burst into the kitchen. Industrial appliances, steel counters, back door leading to service alley. Almost there. The door exploded inward. Victor Kozlov walked through the smoke, flanked by a dozen armed men. He looked at Alina with something like satisfaction. End of the line, Mrs. Draven. Kale stepped in front of her, gun raised. You want her? You go through me. That was always the plan, Victor smiled. Kill Draven, take the girl, send Castellano both their heads, claim my nephew's vengeance and a bigger territory. You made this so easy. You think Castellano's your ally? Kale laughed. He's been using you, funding your war so we destroy each other. You kill me, he kills you. Takes everything. You're a tool, Victor. A disposable one. Lies. Ask him yourself. Castellano stepped out of the shadows behind Victor. He had a gun too, pointed at Victor's head. Sorry, old friend, Castellano said. Kale's right. This was never about helping you. It was about eliminating competition. Both of you. Victor's face went white with rage and realization. He turned, raising his weapon. 3 guns fired simultaneously. Victor dropped. Castellano dropped. Kale remained standing, gun still raised. The kitchen went silent, except for ringing ears and heavy breathing. We need to move, Marcus said. Police will be here in minutes. They ran out of the back door into waiting vehicles away from the carnage. Sirens wailed in the distance. Alina sat in the back of the Bentley numb. It was over. Victor was dead. Castellano was dead. The war was finished. You okay? Kale asked. She wasn't. She'd never be okay again. But she was alive. Yeah, she lied. I'm okay. They drove through the night, leaving death behind them, heading toward whatever came next. Alina looked at Kale. This man she'd been forced to marry, this killer who'd kept his promise, this monster who'd saved her life over and over. What happens now? She asked. Now we figure out how to live with what we've done. His voice was quiet. And hope it's enough. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough. But it was survival, and in Kale's world, survival was the only victory that mattered. The safe house felt different now, quieter, like the walls themselves knew the war was over and didn't know what to do with peace. Alina stood in the shower for 40 minutes watching pink water circle the drain. Not her blood this time. She didn't know whose, didn't want to know. The water ran clear eventually, but she still felt dirty. When she finally emerged, Kale was sitting on her bed. He'd showered too, changed into clean clothes. The cut on his temple had been stitched neat, professional. He looked tired, human. We need to talk, he said. About what? It's over. Victor's dead. We won. Did we? Kale's voice was flat. 13 of my people are dead. Elena's dead. Castellano's organization is in chaos. Victor's lieutenants are scrambling for control. The power vacuum's going to cause a bloodbath that'll make the last week look peaceful. That's not my problem. It is. You're my wife. Everything in my world is your problem now. Alina sat beside him, too exhausted to argue. What do you want from me, Kale? I don't know. The admission seemed to cost him. This was supposed to be temporary. Marry you, protect you until Victor backed down or died. Simple transaction. But nothing's simple anymore. Because he's actually dead. Because you're still here. Because annulment or divorce now would make you vulnerable again. Victor's people will want revenge. Castellano's people will see you as a loose end. You're safer as my wife than as my ex-wife. The word ex hit harder than it should have. So I'm still trapped. We both are. Kale looked at her. I didn't plan for this. Didn't plan for you to be, he stopped. Capable. Most people would have broken by now. You didn't. I break every night. You just don't see it. I see more than you think. He stood. Get some rest. Tomorrow we deal with the aftermath. Media, police, other families. It's going to be ugly. Uglier than the last week. Different ugly. Political ugly instead of violent ugly. Maybe worse. He walked to the door, paused. For what it's worth, you did good tonight. Elena would be proud. The mention of Elena cracked something in Alina's chest. She waited until he left before she cried. Morning came too soon. Alina woke to Sophia shaking her shoulder. Up, now, we have a situation. What kind of situation? The kind where your face is on every news channel in the tri-state area. The TV showed footage from last night. Castellano's estate police, everywhere body bags being carried out. And they're caught by security cameras, Alina, in her red dress, Kale's hand on her back, both of them leaving the scene. Authorities are seeking Kyle Draven and his wife Alina for questioning in connection with last night's massacre that left 12 dead, including prominent businessman Dominic Castellano and Russian emigre Viktor Kozlov. Sources say the violence stemmed from an organized crime dispute. Sophia muted it. It gets worse. Your mother's been contacted by 3 different news outlets. Your old co-workers are being interviewed. Your entire life is being dissected on live television. Can we fix this? Depends on your definition of fix. Kale's lawyer is working on it. But you need to prepare for your life before this to be completely gone. Your apartment's been searched by police. Your bank account's frozen. You're officially a person of interest in a federal investigation. Alina sat down hard. I didn't do anything. You married Kale Draven. In the eyes of the law, that's enough. Kale appeared in the doorway. Sophia's right. The feds have been looking for an excuse to take me down for years. Last night gave them 12 bodies and probable cause. They're coming after both of us. So what do? We lawyer up. We cooperate to a point. We make this look like we were victims caught in crossfire between Victor and Castellano. He handed her a coffee. And you need to call your mother before the feds do. The call was brutal. Linda Varelli cried for 10 minutes straight before she could form words. I saw the news, she finally managed. They're saying you're a criminal. They're saying you helped murder people. I didn't, Mom. I was just there. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong marriage, you mean? Linda's voice broke. I should have done something. Should have stopped you. You couldn't have stopped anything. This was always going to happen. Alina closed her eyes. Are you safe? Are they protecting you? I have 2 FBI agents camped outside my house asking questions I can't answer. My neighbors are staring. Your sister won't return my calls because she's afraid of being associated with this. Linda sobbed. How did this become our life? I don't know, Mom. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't bring back the life you had. I know. Do you love him? The question came suddenly. This man you married. Do you love him or are you just surviving? Lena looked across the room where KL stood talking to his lawyer. I don't know what I feel. Survival might be all I have right now. That's not enough. That's never enough. Linda's voice hardened. Come home. Leave him. We'll figure something out. There's nothing to figure out. I leave him, I'm dead within a week. This is my life now, Mom, for better or worse. Those are widening vows, real ones, not whatever forced arrangement this is. Maybe it's both. Alina hung up before her mother could respond. Kale's lawyer arrived an hour later. Michael Chen, expensive suit, expensive watch, the kind of lawyer who made problems disappear. Here's the situation, Chen said without preamble. The feds have security footage of you both at the scene. They have ballistics that match Kale's registered weapon. They have witness statements placing you in contact with Viktor Kozlov earlier in the evening. They're building a RICO case. Can they make it stick? Kale asked. Depends on how many of Castellano's and Victor's people cooperate. Right now, everyone's lawyering up, nobody's talking. But that'll change. Someone always flips. Chen looked at Alina. You're the weak link. They'll offer you immunity to testify against your husband. I'm not testifying against anyone. Even if it means prison. Even if it means 20 years for conspiracy to commit murder. Even then, Chen looked surprised. Most people take the deal. I'm not most people. Alina met his eyes. What do we do, Powder? We build a narrative. Yeah, you're a civilian and who got caught up in a mob war through no fault of your own. KL protected you at great personal risk. Last night you were both targets of violence perpetrated by Victor and Castellano. You defended yourselves. Self-defense, not murder. Will that work? It'll keep you out of prison, might not keep you out of the spotlight. Chen packed his briefcase. FBI will want to interview you separately. Don't answer anything without me present. Don't volunteer information. Don't try to be helpful. Helpful people go to jail. After Chen left, Alina felt the walls closing in. I can't do this. You can. Kale's voice was firm. You've survived worse. Have I, at least before I knew who the enemy was. Now it's the government. How do we fight that? Same way we fight everything. Strategically, patiently, by not giving them ammunition. Marcus interrupted. Boss, we've got movement. 3 SUVs, federal plates. They're coming. How long? 5 minutes, maybe less. Kale looked at Alina. This is it. FBI's coming to take us in for questioning. Separately. They'll try to break you, try to get you to flip. Don't. No matter what they say, no matter what they promise, we stick together or we fall apart. What if I mess up? What if I say the wrong thing? Then we adapt, but you won't mess up. You're stronger than you think. He pulled her close, kissed her forehead. Trust yourself. Trust Chen. Don't trust them. The FBI arrived in force, 12 agents full tactical gear like they were arresting terrorists. Special Agent Rebecca Walsh led the team, mid-40s, hard eyes, no-nonsense demeanor. Cale Draven, Alina Draven, you're both being detained for questioning in connection with the Castellano estate incident. You have the right to remain silent. We're aware of our rights, Chen said smoothly. My clients will cooperate fully. No need for the theatrics. Walsh ignored him. Mr. Draven, you'll come with us. Mrs. Draven, separate vehicle. She rides with me, or she doesn't ride at all, Cale said. That's not how this works. Make it how this works, or we invoke our rights and you get nothing. Walsh's jaw tightened. Fine, same vehicle, but separate interrogations, non-negotiable. They were driven downtown in silence. Federal building underground parking elevator to the 14th floor. Interrogation rooms that smelled like fear and bad coffee. Walsh took Alina. Another agent took Cale. Chen went with Alina. The interrogation room was exactly what she expected. Gray walls, metal table mirror that was obviously one-way glass. Walsh sat across from her, another agent behind her taking notes. Let's start simple, Walsh said. How did you meet Cale Draven? Through circumstances beyond my control. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. Walsh's expression didn't change. You're married to a known criminal. You were present at a massacre. You fled the scene. You're either incredibly unlucky or incredibly complicit. Which is it? Unlucky. Tell me about Victor Kozlov. How did you know him? I didn't, not really. I went on one date with his nephew 3 weeks ago. The nephew disappeared. Victor blamed me. Decided I needed to die. Cale offered protection. That's it. Protection in exchange for marriage. Romantic. Survival in exchange for marriage. Practical. Walsh leaned forward. Here's what I think. I think you're a dispatcher who got in over her head. I think Cale Draven used you as bait in a gang war. I think you were a victim, and I think if you testify, we can protect you. Real protection, witness protection, new identity, new life, away from all this. In exchange for what? Everything you know about Draven's operations, names, locations, criminal activities. You give us that, we give you freedom. Chen cleared his throat. Tomorrow. My client has no knowledge of any criminal activities. She's his wife. She lives with him. She has to know something. Knowing and proving are different things, Agent Walsh. Unless you have evidence my client committed a crime, we're done here. Walsh pulled out photos, crime scene shots from last night. Bodies, blood, chaos. 12 people died. You were there. You saw things. Tell me what you saw. Alina looked at the photos, saw Castellano's body, Victor's body, people she didn't know dead because of choices she didn't make. I saw self-defense, she said quietly. I saw 2 men try to kill us. I saw my husband protect me. That's all. That's all, Walsh repeated. Just 2 men, not 12 bodies. I didn't see who killed the others. I was running for my life. Walsh stood abruptly. Take a break. Think about what you want your future to look like. Prison or freedom. Choose carefully. She left. Chen immediately leaned in. You're doing fine. Don't let her rattle you. I'm terrified. Good. Use that. Terrified people make mistakes, but controlled, terrified people stay consistent. Stay consistent. Walsh returned 20 minutes later with a new strategy. Let's talk about Elena Marcos, your husband's housekeeper. You were close to her. The mention of Elena hurt. She was kind to me. She died in a bombing. You know who planted that bomb? Victor's people. That's what I was told. Told by who? K.A. And you believed him. I had no reason not to. Even though he's a known liar, even though he's suspected in 23 murders. Walsh played her card. Elena Marcos worked for the FBI. She was an informant. She was feeding us information about your husband's operations. And 3 days before she died, she told us she feared for her life, that Cale Draven had discovered her betrayal. The room tilted. That's not true. It's documented, recorded phone calls, meeting transcripts. Elena was working with us, and your husband killed her for it. No, Victor killed her. The bomb could have been staged, could have been Draven eliminating a threat and blaming his enemy. Convenient, isn't it? Victor dies the same night. Both problems solved. Chen stood. This interview is over. You're manufacturing a narrative without evidence. I have Elena's last phone call. Walsh played an audio file. Elena's voice shaky and scared. He knows. Draven knows I've been talking. I don't think I'm going to make it out of this. If something happens to me, look at him first. Elena couldn't breathe. When was this recorded? 2 days before the bombing. That's impossible. Elena gave me a letter, told me to trust KL. She wouldn't. The letter could have been written under duress or forged. We're analyzing it now. Walsh leaned in. Face it, Elena. You don't know your husband. You don't know what he's capable of. And the people around him die. How long before you're next? This is speculation, Chen said firmly. Do you have actual evidence linking my client or her husband to Elena Marcos's death? We're building it. So no, this interview is done. We're leaving. Walsh blocked the door. You leave, now you're choosing him. You're choosing a life where everyone you care about becomes a target. Your mother, your sister, your old friends. How many people have to die before you do the right thing? The right thing according to who you, Elena, stood. You want me to betray my husband based on phone calls that might be edited evidence, that might be fabricated in a theory that's convenient for your case. No, I want a lawyer. I want out. And I want proof before you accuse anyone else of murder. Walsh stepped aside. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Chen guided Elena out. They found Kale in another interrogation room looking calm despite 3 hours of questioning. He stood when he saw her. You okay? He asked. They said Elena was FBI. Said you killed her. His expression didn't change. And you believe them? I don't know what to believe anymore. Believe this? I didn't kill Elena. I didn't know she was FBI. And if I had, I would have confronted her, not bombed my own house, killing 4 others in the process. He looked at Walsh, who'd followed them. You're desperate. You're throwing everything at the wall, hoping something sticks. It won't. We'll see, Walsh said. Don't leave town, either of you. They left the federal building into a media circus. Cameras everywhere, reporters shouting questions. Security pushed through, got them into a car, drove away fast. Neither spoke for 10 minutes. Finally, KL said, Elena wasn't FBI. I'd have known. How can you be sure? Because I knew everything about everyone in my organization. That's how you stay alive. Elena was loyal. Walsh is lying to drive a wedge between us. Maybe she's telling the truth and you're the liar. Kale looked at her. If you believe that, then this marriage is already over. If you believe I'm a monster who kills loyal people, then there's no point continuing. I don't know what I believe. Then figure it out, because I can't protect someone who doesn't trust me, and you can't survive this world thinking everyone's your enemy. They arrived at a different safe house, 4th one this week. Elena went straight to her room, slammed the door. She needed space, needed air, needed to think without KL's presence clouding everything. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Elena tried to warn you, should have listened. Then a photo. Elena and an FBI agent meeting in a coffee shop. Dated 6 months ago. Elena stared at it. Was it real? Was it fabricated? How could she tell? Another text. He'll kill you next. Run while you can. She deleted both messages, but the doubt remained. Sophia knocked, entered without waiting. You okay? Walsh said Elena was FBI, working undercover. That KL killed her. Sophia's expression hardened. Walsh is lying. Elena was many things, but she wasn't a traitor. I knew her for 12 years. I'd have known. Would you people keep secrets, even from friends? Not secrets like that. Sophia sat beside her. Listen, in this world, loyalty is currency. Elena had it in abundance. If she'd been working with the feds, there would have been signs. Changed behavior, secret meetings, financial irregularities. There was nothing. She died loyal. Don't let Walsh take that away from her. But the phone call could be edited, could be AI generated, could be taken out of context. Technology makes liars out of everyone now. Sophia gripped her shoulder. Trust your gut. What does your gut say? Alina thought about Elena bringing her tea, showing her the security feed, writing that letter. My gut says she was real. Then believe that, not what some FBI agent needs you to believe to make her case. After Sophia left, Alina found Kyle on the balcony. He was smoking, first time she'd seen him do that. Didn't know you smoked, she said. I don't, except when I do. He offered her the cigarette. She shook her head. Walsh got to you. She tried. I'm not sure she succeeded. Alina leaned against the railing. Did you love her, Elena? No, anyone. Have you ever loved anyone in this life? Kale was quiet for a long moment. Once, long time ago, she died. Car accident. Or that's what the police report said. I've never been sure. You think someone killed her? I think loving me made her a target. So I stopped. Stopped loving. Stopped caring about anything except survival and strategy. Worked for 10 years. He looked at her. Until you. The confession hung between them. Don't, Alina said. Don't make this something it's not. What is it then? A transaction. That's what you said. Remember, I say a lot of things. Doesn't make them true. He crushed the cigarette. You asked if I killed Elena. I didn't. You asked if I'm a monster. I am. But I'm your monster, and that has to count for something. Why does it have to count? Why can't this just be what it is, survival? Because survival without connection is just slow death, and I'm tired of dying slowly. Alina didn't know how to respond, so she didn't. She went back inside, leaving Kyle alone with his cigarette and his confession. That night, she dreamed of Elena, alive, smiling, handing her tea and saying, trust him, even when it's hard. She woke to Sophia shaking her. We've got a problem. Big one. What now? Victor's nephew, Dmitri. He's alive. The world stopped. That's impossible. You said he was dead. Everyone said he was dead. Everyone was wrong or lied to. He just surfaced in Miami, and he's demanding to see you. Says you're in danger. Says Kale's been lying about everything from the start. Alina got dressed fast. Found Kyle in the command center staring at a computer screen showing security footage. A young man, thin and scared-looking, standing outside a Miami police station, holding a sign, Alina Varelli is in danger. That's him, she whispered. That's Dmitri. I know. You said he was dead. I believed he was dead. I was told he was dead by sources I trusted. Kyle's voice was tight, which means either my sources lied or someone faked his death very convincingly. Why would anyone fake Dimitri's death? To start a war, to get me and Victor killing each other while someone else gets benefits. Kale stood. We need to get to Miami, talk to Dmitri, find out what he knows. Or it's a trap. Probably, but we're going anyway. They flew private, faster, safer. Landed in Miami 6 hours later. Dmitri was waiting at a hotel surrounded by police protection. He looked older than Alina remembered. Harder. Alina, he said when he saw her. Thank God. I saw the news. Thought you were dead. Everyone thought you were dead, Dmitri. What happened? Victor tried to kill me. Said I was disgracing the family pursuing a fantasy life with you. I ran. Faked my death with help from someone inside Victor's organization. Stayed hidden until I saw you marry Draven. He looked at Kyle with pure hatred. Do you know what he is? I'm starting to figure it out, Alina said. He's the one who told Victor where to find me. He's the one who set up my death. This whole thing, the contract on you, the forced marriage, the war, it was all him, all Draven. He orchestrated everything to eliminate Victor and take his territory. Kale's expression was unreadable. Interesting theory. Any proof? Recordings? Financial transfers? Witness testimony from people who worked for you? Dmitri pulled out a phone. Everything you need to know, your husband has been manipulating you from day one. Alina looked at Caillou. Is it true? Some of it? Not all. He didn't flinch from her stare. Yes, I knew Victor was planning to kill Dmitri. No, I didn't tell him where to find you. Yes, I used the situation to my advantage. But I didn't create it. Dimitri's choices created it. His decision to run to pursue you despite knowing his uncle's reach. That started this. You're a liar, Shammo, Dmitri spat. I'm a strategist. There's a difference. KL looked at Alina. You want the truth? Here it is. I could have let you die that first night. Could have ignored Victor's contract, let his hitmen do their job, stayed out of it entirely. I didn't. I chose to protect you. Everything after that, the marriage, the war, all of it was consequence, not cause. You can believe Dmitri or you can believe your own experience. Choose. Alina felt like she was drowning. Everything she thought she understood was fragmenting. Dmitri was alive. KL might have orchestrated the whole war. Her entire marriage might be built on lies. I need air, she said, walking out. She made it 3 steps before Dmitri grabbed her arm. Come with me. I can protect you. Real protection. We'll disappear. Start over somewhere Victor and Draven can't reach us. Let go of me. I love you, Alina. Always have. This whole nightmare happened because I loved you and couldn't let you go. That's not love. That's obsession. Call it what you want, but I'm offering you freedom. Real freedom. Not whatever cage Draven's built around you. Alina pulled free. I don't want your version of freedom either. She walked away from both of them. From Dimitri's desperate offers and KL's calculated truce. Walked until she found herself on the beach staring at water that went on forever. Sophia found her there an hour later. You okay? I don't even know what okay means anymore. Alina turned. Is KL a liar? Yes. Is Dmitri also yes? Then who do I believe? Yourself, your own experience, your own instincts. Sophia sat beside her in the sand. Did KL save your life? Yes. Did he keep his promises so far? Has he hurt you, hit you, abused you? No, never. Then maybe he's a liar who tells some truths. Maybe that's all any of us are. Sophia stood and offered her hand. Come on, we need to get back. KL's negotiating with Dmitri, trying to figure out what's real and what's manufactured. They returned to find KL and Dmitri in a tense standoff, armed guards on both sides. One wrong word and blood would spill. So here's what I know, KL said to Dmitri. You're alive, that's real. You faked your death with inside help, also real. But your story about me setting you up, that's fiction. Creative fiction designed to turn Alina against me. Prove it. Easy. If I'd wanted you dead, you'd be dead. I don't need Victor to do my dirty work. And I certainly don't need to start a war that costs me 13 soldiers and millions in damages just to eliminate one pathetic nephew who poses no threat. KL's voice was ice. You faked your death to escape your uncle. Fine. Smart even. But then you saw an opportunity. Saw me marry Alina to protect her. Decided to insert yourself into the narrative as the tragic hero. Except you're not a hero, Dmitri. You're a coward who hid while everyone else fought your battles. Dmitri lunged. Guards restrained him. I'll kill you. No, you won't, because you're exactly what I said, a coward. KL looked at Alina. Your choice. Believe him and live wondering who's lying. Or believe me and accept that I'm a monster who chose to be your monster. Either way, decide now. Alina looked at Dmitri, desperate, angry, claiming love while demanding control. Looked at KL, cold, calculating, offering protection, wrapped in brutal honesty. Neither was perfect. Both were damaged, but only one had kept his promises when it mattered. I'm going with Kai, she said. Dimitri's face crumpled. You're choosing him after everything. I'm choosing survival, same as I always have. They left, flew back to the city. Alina sat in silence the whole flight, processing everything. You believe me? KL finally asked. I believe you're telling your version of the truth. Whether that's the real truth, I'll probably never know. She looked at him. But you kept me alive. That counts for something. Is it enough? I don't know yet. Ask me again when this is actually over. It is over. Victor's dead. Castellano's dead. Dimitri's no threat. Then why does it feel like we're still falling? KL had no answer. They landed at dawn, went back to the penthouse, the original one now repaired from the bombing. Elena's room was exactly as she'd left it. Alina stood in the doorway, remembering tea and kindness and a woman who tried to help. I didn't kill her, KL said from behind her. Whatever Walsh implied, whatever doubts you have, I didn't kill her. I want to believe you. Then do. Alina turned. Teach me how. Teach me how to trust in a world where everyone lies. You can't. You just choose who to mistrust less. He stepped closer. I'm a criminal. I've killed people. I'll kill more. But I've never lied to you about what I am. That has to count. Does it? Instead of answering, KO kissed her. Not the mechanical wedding kiss. Something real. Something that felt like a question and an answer and a plea all at once. Alina kissed him back. Not because she loved him. Not because she trusted him completely. But because survival had transformed into something more complicated than just staying alive. Because somewhere between forced marriage and actual partnership, something had shifted. They broke apart, both breathing hard. What now? Alina asked. Now we figure out how to actually live, not just survive, live. I don't know how to do that. Neither do I. Kale smiled, genuine, unguarded. But we'll figure it out together. That's the deal. For the first time since she'd put on that wedding dress, Alina thought maybe they would. Maybe survival could become something more. Maybe monsters could learn to be human. Maybe forced marriages could become real ones. Maybe. But in Kale's world, maybe was the best anyone could hope for. The kiss changed everything and nothing. Alina woke the next morning in her own bed alone, the memory of Kale's lips still burning on hers. She touched her mouth, wondering if she'd imagined it, wondering if it mattered. Her phone showed 37 missed calls. Her mother, her sister, unknown numbers that were probably reporters. One text from KL, breakfast in 20, we need to talk. She showered dressed in jeans and a sweater that actually belonged to her, now not borrowed from some stylist. Small victories. The woman in the mirror looked different than the one who'd climbed down a fire escape 2 weeks ago. Harder, older. Surviving had aged her in ways time couldn't measure. Kale was in the kitchen making coffee. Domestic. Wrong. He should have had staff doing this, but the staff was mostly gone. Dead or transferred or too scared to come back after the bombing. Sleep okay? He asked without turning around. No, you never do. He handed her a mug. FBI called. They want another interview. Both of us. Tomorrow. What do they want now? Dimitri gave them recordings, conversations between me and some of Victor's people. Heavily edited but damaging. They think they can build a case that I orchestrated the entire war. Did you? Kale finally looked at her. Parts of it, not all. I knew Victor wanted you dead. I used that. Knew Castellano was getting greedy. I used that too. But the bombing, Elena's death, the massacre at the gala, those weren't me. Those were consequences spinning out of control. So you started something you couldn't finish. I started something and finished it differently than planned. There's a distinction. He sat across from her. The question is whether you can live with that. Because if the FBI pushes hard enough, if they offer you the right deal, you could walk away clean. New identity, new life. No more mob wife, no more danger. And well, I go to prison, probably for life, but you'd be free. The offer sat between them like a loaded gun. Why are you telling me this? Alina asked. Because you deserve the choice I never gave you. The first time you married me to survive. This time if you stay, it needs to be because you want to, not because you're trapped. I'm always trapped. That's the point. Leave you Victor's people hunt me for revenge. Stay with you, the FBI destroys my life trying to get to you. There's no freedom anywhere. There's one option we haven't considered. Kale pulled out an envelope. Plane tickets. Disappear. Both of us. New names, new country, new everything. To have resources stashed in places the FBI can't touch. We could vanish, start over. Running. Surviving, again, just somewhere else. Alina stared at the tickets. Bali. Far away, warm, beautiful. Everything this city wasn't. What about your empire, your business? Marcus can run it. Or dismantle it. I don't care anymore. Kale's voice was raw. I spent 20 years building something that nearly got you killed. What's the point of an empire if I can't protect the one person who matters? I matter. Don't act surprised. You've mattered since the moment you climbed down that fire escape instead of giving up. You've mattered, Finn, every time you should have broken and didn't. He reached across the table, took her hand. I can't promise you easy. I can't promise you safe. But I can promise you I'll try. Every day. That's all I've got. Before Alina could answer, Marcus burst in. We've got a situation. Sophia's been arrested. What? Kale was on his feet instantly. When, 20 minutes ago, FBI raided her apartment. They're saying she killed Elena, that she planted the bomb on your orders. That's insane. Sophia would never. They have evidence, security footage, phone records, financial transfers to a demolitions expert. It's all fake, has to be, but it looks real enough for an arrest warrant. Kale's face went white. This is Dimitri. He's manufacturing evidence, feeding it to the FBI, turning my own people against me. Why Sophia? Because she's loyal. Because putting her in jail isolates me. Because every soldier watching thinks if Sophia can go down, anyone can. Kale grabbed his phone. Get Chen on the line now. We need... His phone exploded. Not literally, just rang with enough force to make everyone jump. Unknown number. Kale answered on speaker. Did you get my gift? Dimitri's voice smug and satisfied. Sophia Reyes arrested for murder. Beautiful symmetry. She helped you trap me into a marriage. Now she's trapped in a cell. Sophia didn't kill Elena. Prove it. Oh wait, you can't. Because I've spent 3 months building a case that's airtight. FBI has everything they need. She'll die in prison, Draven, and it's all your fault. What do you want? I want you to suffer. I want you to watch everyone you care about disappear. I want Alina to see who you really are, a man who destroys everyone he touches. Dimitri laughed. And then, when you've lost everything, I want you to remember it was me, the coward, the nobody, the pathetic nephew who won. The line died. Kale threw the phone against the wall. It shattered. He's systematically destroying everything. Sophia today. Who's next, Marcus? You. Me, Alina said quietly. I'm next. I'm always next. This entire thing has been about taking me from you. Then we don't give him the chance. Kale's eyes were wild now, desperate. We take those tickets. We leave. Tonight. Disappear before he can make another move. And Sophia rots in jail. Chen will fight for her. We'll send money, resources, everything she needs. But if we stay, Dimitri wins. He'll manufacture evidence against you, against me, against anyone close to us. He's had months to plan this. We're always going to be reacting, never ahead. Marcus cleared his throat. There's another option. We end Dimitri, permanently. FBI's protecting him. He's untouchable right now. Nobody's untouchable. Let me make some calls. Give me 6 hours. No. Alina surprised herself by speaking. No more killing. That's what got us here. That's what Dimitri wants for Kale to be the monster everyone says he is. We don't give him that. So what do we give him? Kale asked. The truth. We go public. Everything. Your side of the story, my side, all of it. We take away Dimitri's power by exposing him before he exposes us. The media will crucify us. They're already crucifying us. At least this way we control the narrative. Kale looked at Marcus. Marcus shrugged. She's not wrong. Public opinion matters. Right now, Dimitri's the sympathetic victim. We flip that, maybe the FBI backs off. Or they come at us harder. Either way, we're fighting. Might as well fight on our terms. Alina stood. I'll do it. I'll give an interview, tell the whole story. How Victor tried to kill me, how you protected me, how Dimitri's been manipulating evidence, all of it. You'll destroy your life, your reputation. My life's already destroyed. My reputation died the moment I married you. But the truth, that's mine. Nobody can take that. Kale studied her for a long moment. You're sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. They contacted a journalist, Sandra Kim Independent, known for fair reporting on organized crime. She agreed to meet within hours. Neutral location cameras, the whole setup. Alina sat across from Sandra, feeling exposed. Vulnerable. Real. Let's start at the beginning, Sandra said. How did you meet Kale Draven? A wedding dress appeared on my door with a death threat. Marry him in an hour or die. That was my introduction. And you believed the threat was real. I believed it when a hitman broke into my apartment 30 minutes later. Alina kept her voice steady. Victor Kozlov put 17 contracts on my life because I went on one date with his nephew. I didn't know about the mob connections, didn't know about the danger. I was a 911 dispatcher living a normal life until I wasn't. And Kyle Draven offered protection in exchange for marriage. Yes, transactional, cold, but alive beats dead. So I chose alive. Sandra leaned forward. Some people say you're a victim. Others say you're complicit in your husband's crimes. Which is it? Both, neither. I'm a woman who survived by making impossible choices. If that makes me complicit, fine. But I'm still here. That counts for something. Tell me about Elena Marcos. The FBI claims your husband ordered her death. Elena was kind to me when she didn't have to be. She wrote me a letter telling me to trust Kyle. The FBI says she was their informant, that Kyle killed her. I don't believe that. I think someone wanted us to believe that. Someone who benefits from turning us against each other. You mean Dmitry Kozlov? I mean whoever's been manufacturing evidence and feeding it to the FBI. Whether that's Dmitry or someone else, I don't know. But I know Elena didn't deserve to die, and I know Kyle didn't kill her. The interview lasted 2 hours. Elena told everything: the fire escape, the forced marriage, the attacks, the gala massacre, Dmitry's sudden resurrection, all of it. Raw and honest, and probably career-ending for anyone with a career left to end. Sandra's final question cut deep. Do you love your husband? Elena paused. I don't know. I know I trust him more than I trust most people. I know he's kept his promises when it would have been easier to break them. Is that love, or is it just survival disguised as something prettier? I don't have an answer yet. If you did have an answer, what would you want it to be? That question haunted Elena long after the cameras stopped rolling. What did she want? To love the monster who'd saved her, to hate him for putting her in danger, to feel nothing and just survive. The interview aired that night. Within an hour, it was viral. Millions of views, thousands of comments. Public opinion split exactly down the middle. Half thought she was a brave survivor, half thought she was a criminal's accomplice. Dmitry responded immediately, posted a video claiming Elena had been brainwashed, that KL was manipulating her, that everything she'd said was scripted. He looked sympathetic, vulnerable, wounded, the perfect victim. He's good, Marcus admitted watching the video. Really good. This might backfire. Or it might expose him, Kale said. People aren't stupid. They can smell manipulation. We just gave them both sides. Let them decide. The FBI decided first. Agent Walsh called. That interview was a mistake. You've contaminated potential testimony, influenced public opinion, and made prosecutions significantly harder. Congratulations, Mrs. Draven. You just helped your husband dodge a RICO charge. Good, Elena said. That was the point. You realize this makes you an accessory. You're not a victim anymore. You're a participant. I've been a participant since I said I do. Now everyone knows it. What are you going to do, arrest me for telling the truth? We're considering it. Walsh hung up. Kale pulled Elena close. That was incredibly stupid and incredibly brave. Story of my life these days. You know there's no going back now. You've chosen a side, my side, the consequences. I know the consequences. I've been living them for 2 weeks. At least now I'm choosing them instead of having them forced on me. Her phone buzzed. Text from her mother. I saw the interview. I don't understand your choices, but you're my daughter, always. Be safe. Simple words, but they cracked something in Elena's chest. Her mother hadn't abandoned her, hadn't disowned her, just loved her despite everything. I need to see her, Elena said. My mom, in person, before this gets worse. Too dangerous. Dmitry could be watching. I don't care. She's my mother. If I'm choosing this life, choosing you, then I need to say goodbye to the person I was. And I need to do it face to face. Kale wanted to argue. She saw it in his eyes. But he nodded. Okay, tomorrow. Heavy security, short visit. And if anything feels wrong, we abort immediately. They drove to Jersey the next morning. 4-car convoy, armed guards, the full paranoia. Linda Varelli's house looked smaller than Elena remembered. More fragile, like it might collapse under the weight of everything happening. Her mother answered the door looking older, tired, but when she saw Elena, her face crumpled with relief. Baby girl, she whispered, pulling her close. My baby girl. They cried together on the porch while Kael's security team formed a perimeter. Eventually they went inside. Kael stayed outside with Marcus giving them privacy. I don't understand any of this, Linda said, making tea with shaking hands. My little girl marrying a criminal, running from the FBI, giving interviews that make her sound complicit, I know. Alina took the tea. Because I am mom. I stopped being a victim the moment I pulled on that wedding dress and walked down that aisle. I made choices, some good, some terrible, but they were mine. Do you love him? The second time someone had asked that question. This time Alina had an answer. I'm starting to, and that terrifies me more than anything else in this nightmare. Why? Because loving him means accepting everything he is, the violence, the crimes, the danger. It means choosing that life, choosing to be Mrs. Draven instead of just surviving until I can escape. Linda set down her cup. Then don't choose it. Come home. Let him fight his own battles. You've done enough. There is no home anymore, Mom. That life ended the moment Victor put a contract on me. I can run from it, I can hide from it, but I can't go back to it. It's gone. So you're giving up. I'm moving forward. There's a difference. Alina took her mother's hands. I need you to understand this is my choice now. Not forced, not coerced. Mine. I'm choosing KL. I'm choosing this life. And I need you to not hate me for it. Linda's eyes filled with tears. I could never hate you, but I can hate what this world did to you. What he did to you. He saved me. Yes, he used me too, but he saved me first. That matters. They talked for another hour, made promises they both knew might be impossible to keep holidays together, phone calls some semblance of normal family life. But the trying mattered. The intention counted. Alina was leaving when her mother grabbed her arm. That man out there, your husband. Tell him if he hurts you, I don't care how many guns he has. I'll find a way to make him pay. He won't hurt me. How do you know? Because he's had a dozen chances and hasn't taken any of them. Because his world is built on loyalty and he's chosen to be loyal to me. And because, Alina stopped the truth finally clear, because I think I'm the first person he's cared about in 20 years. And people who've been alone that long don't destroy the one thing that makes them human. She left before her mother could respond, found Kyle leaning against the car, looking tense. Everything okay? He asked. Define okay. She got in the car. Let's go home. The penthouse or wherever you are, that's home now. Something shifted in Kale's expression. Relief, gratitude. Love, Alina couldn't tell. Maybe all three. They were halfway back to the city when Marcus's phone exploded with calls. He answered one listen, went pale. Boss, Sophia, she's dead. The car went silent. What? Kale's voice was barely a whisper. Suicide. Hanged herself in her cell. Guard found her 20 minutes ago. No, Sophia wouldn't. She wouldn't do that. She's too strong, too... Kale couldn't finish. Alina felt like she'd been punched. Sophia, fierce Sophia who trained her, protected her, been the closest thing to a friend in this nightmare. Gone. It wasn't suicide, Marcus said quietly. Can't be. Sophia was built different. Someone got to her, made it look self-inflicted. Dimitri. Kale's voice was dead. He killed her and made it look like guilt, like she couldn't live with what she'd done. We can't prove it. I don't need to prove it. I know. Kale looked at Alina. His eyes were empty. Everyone I care about dies. Elena, Sophia, you're next. Unless what? Unless I end this tonight. No more waiting, no more strategy. Just end it. Kale. He killed Sophia. He's systematically destroying everyone. His voice broke. I can't lose anyone else. I can't lose you. You won't. How can you promise that? How can anyone promise that in this world? Alina grabbed his face, forced him to look at her. Because I'm not Sophia. I'm not Elena. I'm not some soldier following orders. I'm your wife, your partner, and I'm not going anywhere. You want to end this, fine. We end it together, but we do it smart, not emotional, not revenge, smart. Kale searched her face. What are you thinking? I'm thinking Dimitri expects you to come at him hard, angry, sloppy, expects you to make a mistake he can exploit. So we don't give him that. We give him something else. What? Me? The plan was insane, risky, probably suicidal, but it was all they had. Alina would reach out to Dmitri, claim she'd finally seen the truth about KL, claim she wanted out, wanted protection, wanted to testify. Dmitri would jump at it, his ultimate victory, turning Kael's wife against him. They'd meet. Dmitri would think he'd won, and Alina would record everything, every admission, every threat, every piece of manufactured evidence he'd fed to the FBI. Get it all on tape, turn it over to Agent Walsh, let Dmitri destroy himself with his own words. He'll kill you the moment he realizes it's a trap, KL said. Not if you're nearby, not if Marcus and the team are ready. It's too dangerous. Everything's dangerous. This at least has a chance of working. Alina pulled out her phone. I'm doing this, with or without your permission. You never needed my permission for anything. Kael smiled sadly. That's what I love about you. The word hung in the air. Love. He'd said it, finally, explicitly. Say that again, Alina whispered. I love you. Probably loved you since you climbed down that fire escape instead of waiting to die. Definitely loved you by the time you demanded to learn how to shoot. And absolutely loved you when you chose to stay, even when I gave you the option to leave. Kael cupped her face. I love you, Alina, and I'm terrified that's going to get you killed. Then help me stay alive. Support this plan. Trust me the way I'm trusting you. He kissed her, desperate and scared and real. Okay, we do this. But if anything goes wrong, nothing will go wrong. Everything went wrong. Alina texted Dmitri, you were right about everything. I need out. Help me. He responded in seconds. I knew you'd see the truth. Meet me tomorrow. I'll protect you from him. They chose a public place coffee shop midday crowded. Safe, except nowhere was safe. Alina wore a wire. Kael and Marcus positioned themselves across the street. Backup teams scattered throughout the area, every angle covered. Professional setup. Dmitri arrived on time. He looked different, confident, victorious. Like he'd already won. Alina, he said, sitting across from her. I'm glad you called. Glad you finally saw what Draven really is. A monster. The worst kind. The kind who pretends to care while destroying everything around him. Dmitri leaned in. But you're safe now. I'll protect you. We'll testify together. Bring him down together. And then what? We run away, live happily ever after. Pretend you didn't orchestrate this entire nightmare. Dmitri's smile faltered. What are you talking about? Sophia's death, Elena's death, the manufactured evidence, all of it. You did it. You've been puppeting this whole war from the beginning. You're confused. Draven's gotten to you. I'm not confused. I'm recording. Alina pulled out her phone, showed him the recording app running. And you're going to tell me everything. Or I walk out of here and let Kael handle you his way. Dmitri's face went hard. You stupid girl. You think a recording matters. You think anyone will believe you. I think 12 people will. The FBI agent's listening to this conversation right now through the wire I'm wearing. Hi, Agent Walsh. Getting all this, Dmitri stood fast, too fast, reached into his jacket. Alina saw the gun before her brain processed it. Training kicked in Sophia's training all those hours in the gym. She grabbed his wrist, twisted, used his momentum against him. The gun went off. Bullet hit the wall behind her. Chaos erupted, people screaming, Marcus and Kael bursting through the door. Dmitri fighting like a cornered animal. And then Kael was there, between Alina and Dmitri, taking a second shot that was meant for her, going down hard. No. Alina dropped beside him, blood spreading across his shirt. So much blood. No. I'm okay. Kael gasped. Just finish it. Finish this. Marcus had Dmitri on the ground, FBI agents swarming in. Walsh cuffing Dmitri while reading him his rights. Paramedics arrived, loaded Kael onto a stretcher. Alina climbed in the ambulance with him, refusing to let go of his hand without thumb. You took a bullet for me, she said. Yeah, don't recommend it. He coughed, winced. But I'd do it again. Every time. Don't you dare die on me. Wasn't planning to. We've got tickets to Bali, remember? His eyes were closing. Tell me you love me. Need to hear it before I... You're not dying. Stay awake. Alina squeezed his hand harder. And yes, I love you. I love you, you stupid, reckless, impossible man. So you don't get to die, understand? Kael smiled. Best thing anyone's ever said to me. Then he was unconscious. The surgery took 6 hours. Alina wore a path in the hospital waiting room. Marcus sat in silence. Sophia's ghost haunted the empty chairs. Finally, a doctor emerged. He's stable. Bullet missed the heart by 2 inches. Collapsed lung, significant blood loss, but he'll recover. Alina nearly collapsed with relief. They let her see him an hour later. He was pale, hooked to machines, but breathing. Alive. Alina sat beside his bed and finally let herself break down. All the fear, all the trauma, all the impossible choices, it all came out in silent sobs. Kael woke 2 days later. First thing he said, "Did we get him?" Dimitri's in federal custody. Full confession on tape. Everything about manufacturing, evidence, bribing guards, arranging Sophia's death. He's going away for life. Good. Kael tried to sit up, winced. And you, I'm here, I'm staying, Alina kissed him gently. I'm choosing this, choosing you, choosing us, for real this time. Even though it means all of it, the danger, the chaos, the impossible choices. I'm choosing all of it because the alternative is living without you. And I can't do that anymore. Kael pulled her onto the hospital bed carefully. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you've got me anyway. They stayed like that until a nurse kicked her out. But Alina came back. Every day, every hour they'd let her. 3 weeks later, Kael was discharged. The FBI dropped all charges, self-defense, clear evidence of Dimitri's manipulation, no case to prosecute. Agent Walsh even apologized, though she looked like it physically hurt. They went back to the penthouse. It felt different now. Quieter. Peaceful. Like a home instead of a fortress. So, Kael said, standing by the window overlooking the city. What now? Now we live. Alina came up behind him, wrapped her arms around his waist. We honor Elena and Sophia by actually living instead of just surviving. We figure out what normal looks like for people like us. People like us don't get normal. Then we make our own version. She turned him around. I'm not going anywhere, Kael. Neither are you. So we might as well figure out how to be happy in the middle of the chaos. I don't know how to be happy. Neither do I, but we'll learn together. They did. It wasn't easy. Wasn't simple. The nightmares didn't stop. The trauma didn't magically heal. The FBI kept watching. Other families kept testing. Life in Kael's world remained dangerous and complicated and messy, but they faced it together. Alina learned the business, the real business, the legitimate fronts and the gray areas and even some of the criminal operations. Learned when to push back, when to compromise, when to walk away. Became a true partner instead of just a wife. Kael learned to trust, learned to love without fear of losing, learned that protection didn't mean control and partnership didn't mean weakness. 6 months after the shooting, they renewed their vows. Real ceremony this time, small, private, just Marcus and a few trusted people. No shotgun wedding, no death threats, just 2 people choosing each other despite everything. I, Alina, take you, Kael, she said, knowing exactly who you are, knowing the darkness and the light, choosing it all, choosing you. I, Kael, take you, Alina, he replied. Knowing I don't deserve you, knowing you make me better than I've ever been, promising to keep choosing you every day for the rest of my life. They exchanged rings that actually meant something this time, kissed like they meant it. Started a marriage that was real instead of forced. A year later, Alina stood in Elena's old room, now converted to an office. Photos on the wall. Elena, Sophia, the soldiers who died protecting them. Reminders that survival had a cost. That their happiness was built on sacrifice. You okay? Kael asked from the doorway. Just remembering, honoring them. They'd be proud of you. Of us. I hope so. Alina turned. I'm pregnant. The words hung in the air. Kael's expression cycled through shock, fear, joy, terror, and finally settled on something like wonder. Are you sure? Positive. 3 tests, all positive. She waited. Say something. I'm going to be a father. Is that okay? Do you want? Kael crossed the room, pulled her close. It's terrifying and perfect and everything I never knew I wanted. Yes, God, yes. They held each other in Elena's memory room, thinking about the future instead of the past. About the child who'd grow up in this world. About teaching them to be strong and kind, and how to survive without losing their humanity. We need to get out, Alina said suddenly. Not forever, just for a while. Let Marcus run things. Go to Bali like we planned. Raise our kids somewhere without constant danger. You want to leave? I want to live, really live, not just survive in a fortress. Our kid deserves better. We deserve better. She looked up at him. So let's take it. Let's choose happiness instead of just choosing survival. KL thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. Okay, let's do it. Let's disappear for a while. Be normal, be a family. We'll never be normal. Then we'll be our version of normal. That's good enough. They left 3 months later, transferred operations to Marcus, set up accounts and safety nets, packed the essentials, stood in the penthouse one last time, looking at the city that had nearly destroyed them. Any regrets? Kale asked. Alina thought about the girl who'd climbed down a fire escape in terror, thought about forced marriages and death threats and impossible choices, thought about becoming someone she'd never imagined stronger, harder capable of surviving things that should have broken her. None, she said. Not a single one. This life chose me. I chose you. And somewhere in the middle of the chaos, we chose each other for real. That's worth everything. They walked out together, got on a plane, flew towards something new, left behind the violence and the fear and the constant danger, took with them the love they'd built in the middle of a nightmare and the hope that their child would know a different kind of strength, the kind that came from love instead of survival. Alina Draven, former dispatcher, mob wife survivor, mother-to-be, looked at her husband sleeping beside her on the plane and knew with absolute certainty that she'd made the right choice. All the choices, even the forced ones that had become real ones, even the terrifying ones that had led to happiness. She'd worn the dress, she'd married the monster, and somehow impossibly she'd found love in the middle of death and chaos. That was her story, her truth, her ending that was really just a beginning. And for the first time since a wedding dress appeared on her door, with a death threat attached, Alina wasn't just surviving, she was living, and that made all the difference.